So this story was sent to me by Caressa, and before I go into and explain into who this woman is on the left, I'll talk about the sentencing. Well, not the sentencing, the charge that Derek Chauvin received and how extremely disrespectful it is. So of course, y'all know by now, Derek Chauvin has been arrested and charged with third-degree murder, manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. Unacceptable, because that's basically almost like a self-defense charge. Basically, I said that they should go for second degree, not first degree, because that would be hard to prove. That would be very hard to prove, and that might be an overcharge, and you don't want to lose this case. I would say go for second degree, because that's basically everything under first degree with the exception of premeditation, and I think that would be the safer route to go. And if you're convicted, he will get way more time. Now, if you want to get anybody on third degree, get the other terrorists that were there with him. They can get the third degree murder charge. I actually talked about this briefly with Seiji Hito in my live stream the other day. If y'all haven't checked it out already, go ahead and check that out. That's like one of the first things we talked about when we were talking about George Floyd. But I just wanted to get that out there because a lot of people may not have watched the live stream. Y'all probably wondering why I haven't talked about his charges yet. Here it is right here. I figure I combined the two since his mugshot was with this picture. Now to get to the main part of the video. If y'all don't know who this woman is, her name is Kellie Chauvin. This is the wife, now soon to be ex-wife, of Derek Chauvin. It has just come out that she wants a divorce from this guy. I have one major question for her. How long have you known of your husband's behavior, or your soon-to-be ex-husband's behavior? Because if you've known about his history with dealing with people over the years, depending on how long they've been married to each other, because I don't know how long they've been married, I'm sure the article is going to specify that for me. That means that you've been with him while he was doing a lot of dirt. Because based on the laundry list of complaints I've heard he has, you had to have been around there for at least more than half of them, depending on how long you two have been married. But this one was the one that you decide to separate yourself from him for. And I bet that she's doing this because the scrutiny that's coming behind it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to call her in to testify should this go to trial, should this thing go really to a huge trial, which I'm sure probably is going to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article. Kellie Chauvin, the wife of the former Minneapolis police terrorist charged in the death of George Floyd, has announced she is devastated over the situation and is divorcing her husband, according to CBS Minnesota. In a statement, a representative told the news station that her utmost sympathy lies with his family, with Floyd's family. What I found to be interesting by that statement is that she says her sympathy lies with Floyd's family. Meanwhile, that meth-headed looking chick who is allegedly George Floyd's fiance wants to sympathize more with the cop. I think maybe they needed to switch spouses. Since she wants to be sympathizing with the cops who with the terrorists. I got to get that out. I'm calling them cops out of my head. The terrorists who murdered her fiance, her so-called fiance. She is said to have already filed for the dissolution of her marriage to the former terrorist and asked for privacy during this difficult time. And that's all that she wrote. But I'm still curious. They didn't specify in the article how long these two have been married. And like I said, she had to have known of the stuff that was going on in their marriage. But you know what? They're probably going to pull it out of her. If this goes to trial, they're most definitely going to either try to get her up on the stand to testify against her ex-husband. At this point, she might as well. She already filed for divorce or something of that nature. But who I am fearful of them putting on that stand is George Floyd's quote-unquote fiance and what she's going to say when she gets up there. I'm already thinking far ahead into the future and seeing how this might play out. But we shall see what happens. And interestingly enough, and not so shocking, he's married to an Asian woman. I'm not sure from which part of Asia, but remember what I said before. When it comes to interracial dating or marriage, the highest form is that Asian woman and the PC male.